Welcome to Connect to Joy. Your host, DeChaine, is an intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters and Marconic multidimensional energy practitioner. Her quest is to help you realize new possibilities, discover and release what holds you back, and enable you to manifest an inspired life filled with joy. Join us on this journey of transformation. Now, here's your host, DeChaine.
Welcome, beautiful spirits. Thank you for joining me here today. Today, we're going to be talking about finding your life purpose. And it's entitled, What's Your Why? And I'll get into that in just a minute. But this is going to be a step-by-step guide to actually finding it. People have asked me so many times how to find it, that's why I'm doing the show. They want more, or they need more in their life. Sometimes it feels like there's a hole in their life, that they're missing something, and they just want to know, why am I here? That gnawing, empty feeling, they want to fill. And sometimes they just want to make a difference, and so they go about it in a certain way, but they don't have a reason behind why they're doing something. They just go out and kind of flail around like I have before, trying to make a difference by doing something that may not speak to them at depth. Today's plan is going to be talking about what life purpose truly is and what it isn't, because honestly, it can be misunderstood as to what it actually is. We're going to talk about discovering your why. I'm going to give you 3 ways to actually find your why, so the step-by-step way that you can discover it. What is your life purpose? And then I'll do a guided meditation to release the resistance that will come up, which it does sometimes, to actually finding your why. You may not think you have resistance to finding it because you may want it with all your heart and soul to find your purpose. But let me say this, if you didn't have resistance, you would have found it already. It would have been obvious to you, and you'd be living it right now. And resistance is normal. So don't beat yourself up or worry about it. We're going to get you on the right path today, and you're going to be able to at least get an inkling, or at least know how to go about doing it on your own if you don't discover it during the show itself. First off, then, let's start with what is a life purpose. Kind of like what I've said already, it feels like the reason for being on the earth. If you say, why am I here? If you've ever said that, that means you're kind of feeling like a boat without a rudder. You don't have a direction, or you don't kind of know which way you want to go. So you don't know what to do. And I will say this, and I'll say this probably a number of times. Your life purpose is not your job or career, not even what you volunteer to do. It's not that. It's beyond that. And when people get stuck in that space of thinking it's their job or career, especially, and I'm sorry to put it this way, but men, when you retire and people die almost immediately afterwards, or they get depressed and they do nothing because their purpose is done, their usefulness is done, their job is not their purpose. If they knew the reason why behind their job and why they loved it so much and why they were so fulfilled, they could carry it through to the retirement. So if you know someone like that, start asking them why if they're getting close to retirement and they're having trouble with that. Why do you love what you do? Because they can easily shift that to a different way of enacting it out in this lifetime. And that's going to be next week. Give you a little hint. Next week is how to live your life purpose, how to put it into use in your life rather than, once you know what it is, how are you going to do it? What are you going to do next? That's next week. This week is all about looking underneath what you're doing or beyond. Let's just say it's beyond. It's the purpose isn't what you do. It's the reason behind it. It's really your why. It's why you're compelled to do what you do if you already have a job or a career you love, or a volunteer. And this one is going to surprise you, because usually what your purpose is really simple compared to the effort we put into to figure it out. It's really simple, believe it or not. So many times when I help my clients, even my friends, talk about their life purpose and what is it, I get the same result. When they come up with an answer, they go, wait a minute. Is this my purpose? And I'll say, does it feel right? And they'll go, oh my God, but I knew that already. No, I knew that. You don't understand. This is blowing my mind. I already knew what it is. And it never surprises me. Sometimes it surprises me what their purpose is, but not that they already knew it, because that's what happens. And I think people know it, and this is my personal opinion, so you may not share it. I think we choose it because we're born knowing it. We've already chosen what our purpose is. And that's one of the reasons why we're on the planet. And if you choose it, you know it somewhere subconsciously or somewhere in your spirit. So you get hints and clues about it all the way through your life. And sometimes you may know it from the time you're born, but you may not live it. You may choose to ignore it. Kind of like I did, because I knew my purpose since I was like 12. But I just went, no, it's too big. No, I'm not worthy of that. Nobody's going to listen to me. Why would they ever? I ignored it. I'm going to get into a little more detail about that shortly. If you have done that as well, when you discover what your purpose is, it's okay. Really, it's never too late. The right time to start it is now. Whatever now is to you at the time you discover it. Because your why is your gift to the world. It's that reason for everything you do and for who you are and what you do on this planet. It's what can give you your motivation, your direction, so that you know why you're doing something, and it's that purpose behind it. It's kind of an emotionally based thing. So even though you know it somewhere in your being, when you hit on it, you'll feel it, you'll know it. So don't worry about going, I don't know if I know it or not. You will know it. Healing and inspiring are my two. I have two of them. They don't have to go together, but I knew it since I was 12. And I have to say that when you think of wanting to inspire somebody and you're 12, you go, who am I to say that? No, it's just silly. Not going to do it. And even at 12, I knew that I was not good in science. I was not getting it. You know, some people, they have a brain wired for certain things. That was not my thing. So how was I going to heal people? I went, nah. So I didn't do either one for years. And I just kind of went along and forgot about it and ignored it. That's why that other people have said, but I knew it, because it's the same thing for them. Sometimes they're living a piece of it, and sometimes they just don't even realize they're doing it, or you're already doing your purpose in some small way because somewhere you know what it is. But we can delay or put off living it fully, like I did, because we don't get it at the time. We don't embrace it at the time. And whenever it's time to embrace it, that's when we start doing it. So we're going to look at today what your why is, with that core reason behind who you are and what you do. You might know it right now, but you might not know how to implement it. And that's okay. If you're listening to this on demand, listen to this one for a bit and then jump to the next one about how to implement your purpose, because that one's going to be all about trying to figure out the best way for you right at this moment to live it in your life. But if you have no idea what it is right now, what your purpose is, your why, that's what we're going to work on. Remember, it's okay wherever you are. You don't need to be different. It's okay that you haven't lived it up to this point, especially if you're the spiritual being that goes, no, it's what I'm supposed to do. It's okay. It truly is. And if you are what you consider a spiritual being, you know that everything happens for a reason and a purpose and a time. It says it in the Bible too. Everything has its perfect time. When it's the perfect time, you'll step out and you'll find it and you'll start living it. So even if you're 80 or you're 5, it's the right time when you're ready for it. And people actually look for their why anytime. But especially like with me, it was a transitional time. When you start questioning your life, you start looking for something more. Why did this happen? I know some people that they question, why am I here? Especially if they were in like an accident or something happened and another person died and they didn't. That survivor's guilt thing. Why am I here? That's the time you need to really delve into it and say, hey, I need to make a difference, or I need to find this out now because this is not being good for my emotional well-being. I need to look into this now. When my divorce happened, I knew I was spinning my wheels for years and I wanted to make a difference. I wanted something to happen. And so I had to kind of remember back to when I was 12 and whenever it was that I forgot or I put it aside, what my purpose was so that I could try and find a way to actually make it happen. So don't be surprised if you're going through a transitional time and you start that questioning. Because anytime you want more meaning, more purpose, or more direction, or if you're around someone who needs those things and they are looking for more, it makes total sense. It's actually the best time to start doing it. And another really good time that you have more choice over is when you're changing your career. You don't just want to jump into the next thing, especially if you're changing fields or going back to school for something. Find your why first so that you can find it and then you can adjust what you're moving towards, that direction you're heading in, to make sure that it aligns with who you want to be, what this purpose is. That is like the perfect time to do it. It's the time when you might need some help, but it's the time when you look towards a new beginning. When I was going through my divorce, and I hope you find some inspiration from this, I was just so tired of waiting for my life to begin. And it felt like that shift was there if I was willing to step into it. So I made that big step, which was to ask the universe to say, okay, I'm ready for my purpose. Sock it to me. Give it to me now. And when that happened, things started unfolding. And the why ended up showing up at the same time my how did. So it was the why I'm going to be living this life. I started remembering the healing and inspiring thing when I did something as simple as responding to a Facebook post to somebody that was going through a divorce. I was in the middle of the divorce, but I was towards the end because I'd already moved out and I started kind of the new section of my life, but the paperwork wasn't final yet. And at that point in time, when I reached out and I started becoming friends with this person, because of that, a domino effect started happening. It started going from just knowing this person to being led to actually an intuitive reader. Actually, she's more of a psychic. And I thought, well, it's a new life. Let's see what she has to say. And then I was led to an energy worker. I was already working in energy. At the time, I was doing Reiki for lots of years, like 20 years. And then also that led me to life coaching, to the specific school I wanted to go to when I didn't have money to do it. Because after a divorce, let's face it, money is not necessarily the strongest part of your life. It might be kind of an issue if it isn't even during the rest of your life. So raising that money, it just fell into place. I asked the universe, I said, if this is what I'm supposed to do, I need the money. I'm not going into what savings I have left. And there it was. Money showed up 4 days later. And when it happens and you actually see it start happening and your why makes sense and everything starts falling into place, sometimes that's the time we scream and run. I just want you to be aware that if you have those moments of, it's okay. Because sometimes when it starts happening, we get a little fearful because we aren't sure we want to start on the path we just started. And that's okay. If you really want it, you'll work your way through it. There is one thing that my clients ask me numerous times because they want to know what happens when they have like a multiple purpose. Mine, as I said, was healing and inspiring. Do you have two different jobs? What do you do? And so there are a couple of different things you can do. You can go ahead and do it all in the same either job or business or volunteering, or you can do part healing in one part of your job and inspiring in another, to use my purpose. You can also do it at different times in your life. So maybe you'll feel like healing is your big thing, or whatever it is that's your double whammy, or maybe even a three-pronged purpose. You might feel like, oh, I'm a healer. I'm going to heal. And then somewhere 20 years later, you'll go, oh, that inspiring thing, I really want to really concentrate on that too now. So maybe you start speaking, you start doing something that really is something that moves you in that direction. We're going to be getting into the 3 ways to find your why. And I'm going to be wanting you to make a list. Yes, indeed, that's me. Write it down. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to see the pattern. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is to write down what brings you the most joy. What brings you the most joy and fulfillment in your life? It doesn't matter. You can start out with something big like it's my business. I love my business, or I love my career, or I love my children, but then get it down to, you're going to ask yourself, why do I love this? Because your why is going to be what moves you. What is it about the things you love? Why do you love them? You're going to keep looking deeper until you discover what it's really all about. So you're going to do a lot of introspection here and looking within, because you might enjoy music. Maybe you enjoy playing music, or maybe you enjoy playing music, but you kind of, suck at it, or just are sort of a real amateur and you're going, but I love it. And that's good. That's fine. It doesn't mean you go out and be on Carnegie Hall stage, but you're just right now looking at what brings you joy. So maybe you just love to listen to it. Maybe you love to dance to it while you're listening. Whatever it is, write down what brings you joy and then look at why. And you probably won't be able to do it during the show, but you can write these things down so you can do it later. But sometimes things will just come to you. Write them down, because I don't know if you're like me, but every once in a while I get these brilliant ideas that are going to change my life. And I go, oh my God, aha. And then I either go to sleep or I get up to do something if I'm just getting out of bed. And I don't write them down. And 5 or 10 minutes later or an hour later, when I remember I had this amazing moment, I go, it was going to change my life. Oh my God, what was it? So write it down. I swear, if you're anything like me, you need to write it down, even just a word or two, because it's going to make all the difference. You may find later that you look at the aha moment and go, oh, that was stupid. But it's okay. At least that way you remembered what it was. Or it may change your life. So make sure you do yourself that favor, okay? Even if you're not a list maker, you can always throw the list away later if it doesn't get you anywhere. You're going to be writing these things down. What do you love? And look at different areas of your life. You want to break it down so you're looking at your job, at your relationships, and then even look at your dreams and your goals. What is it that you love about these things? Why do you find this joy and fulfillment? It's always why. Why do I feel this way? Your purpose could be as simple as making a difference. It could be helping other people find their joy. It could be a combination, like I said, like healing and inspiring. It could be passing information to someone or helping them raise their vibration if you're more into that kind of new age kind of feeling. I don't know if new age is kind of an old word now. It's whatever it is that moves you, the why. What is it? As you're looking at these things, it's not just the thing that brings you joy and fulfillment, it's the why. You're going to look at this in the next show. If you have this list, keep it, because you're going to look at what brings you the most joy in the next one as well, but you'll already know your why. So if you're listening to both, you'll have part of it already down. So I'm giving you like a little heads up that you've already done some of the work. As you look at the different areas of your life, keep writing down what brings you joy and fulfillment. Some people have trouble, so they have to go to the second step, and they don't have much written for the first one. And that's okay, because some people, it's easier for them to look at what makes them unhappy and why they're unhappy. So if you can't look at it from the positive, or you can add a few more things to why you're feeling a certain way. The first one is what brings you joy and fulfillment. But the second one is, why am I unhappy? What things make me unhappy? Look at your work environment, at your relationships, and your home life. This is one most people can say they're unhappy with. How about your finances? Look at each thing. And why are you unhappy? Don't just start with the finances as in, well, I don't have enough. Well, yeah. Okay, if that's true, you can't pay your bills, or you can't go on your trips, or you can't buy the new car, or you want a house and you never feel like you'll have a down payment, or you want to send your kids to school, or whatever it is. Yeah, that's the first thing. If you're not happy with your finances and you feel unhappy, it's going to be, I don't have enough, or the stock market went down, which is still not having enough. What's underneath that? Because finances are all about, money is just a form of exchange. What do you want for it that you're not going to be able to do? Maybe it's peace of mind. Maybe it's bringing more joy to certain people that you can't do and money would help you, or joy to yourself. What's underneath that? Why are you unhappy? But make sure you look at each different area. For example, if you don't like the commute at work, maybe you don't like that, or your boss doesn't appreciate you, they yell at you all the time. So write down what it is that you don't like and why you don't like it. You don't like the boss yells at you because they don't appreciate you enough, right? And you're going to be looking back at these whys to your aha moment momentarily here. Make sure, well, when you empower other people, you also want to empower yourself. If you're looking at your purpose and you're thinking, okay, it's time, I want to do this for others, I want to do that for others, don't forget yourself at the same time. Because you want to make sure that you don't exhaust yourself, Even though it brings you joy living your purpose, if you don't include yourself in your purpose, you're going to be exhausted. You're going to feel like you need more yourself still. If you think you're supposed to empower people to do something or to find their love or to do whatever they're supposed to do, say, my purpose is to empower myself and others. My purpose is to love, help people find love for themselves, but to help myself find love for myself and to help others as well. This is an important piece of the puzzle so that you can really find that joy. Now, there's a third piece to these questions you can ask yourself. And this is another one that might be fairly easy to do because you can look at what's missing in your life. What do you need? It's kind of a different perspective from looking at what you love and what brings you joy, what you don't like in your life or what you hate in your life. What's missing? Because you may have not seen that piece of the puzzle. So what angle do you need to look at to find your why? Keep looking deeper because at some point you're going to get this aha moment and you're going to go, wait a minute, I'm seeing a pattern here. I hate it when people disrespect each other. I hate it when they don't love themselves enough to love others. I hate it when, maybe that's how you discover it. And then you go, wait, I'm supposed to help empower people to love themselves more so that they treat the rest of the world better. Maybe that's what you find out. And that aha moment goes, oh my God, this is perfect. This feels right. And then you can go about figuring out how to make it work in the world for you. But your why. I've never heard of someone having their why change in their life. They may have two that they don't live at the same time, but the why and their purpose never changes. Maybe if you're a walk-in, I don't know, but I don't see it changing in anybody I've talked to. But I do see people getting incredibly frustrated because they can't figure out what it is. They get angry, they get frustrated, they get annoyed. I've been there, I understand it. Because, if you're like me, you felt like you should know it already. You should be able to find it. And I thought my why was what I was supposed to do with my life. So what am I supposed to do? I was confused, like so many people are. If you can't find your why, you just have a resistance to it. And we're going to do a short meditation now, because if you don't know your why yet, I want you to be able to connect to your highest source. And using guided meditations and visualizations, I help people to kind of raise above that fear and that feeling of tightness in their body so that they can then see a little clearer and get better information for what they want to do for themselves. So get comfy if you aren't already. And I'm going to take you in for a fairly quick one that you can come back and listen to again if you need to. Go ahead and breathe in, maybe a little deeper than you were before. Let the worries of the day just fall away. Allow yourself to let tension release, to let it go, and know that this resistance you have to finding your why is not necessary for you anymore. As you feel like you're more and more relaxed, ask for your highest good to be given to you right now. The information that you need to move forward. Put away those thoughts and the worries that you need to do next, like doing the dishes or paying the bills. Whatever it may be, let those things go. And feel your spirit lifting up out of your body. See the silver cord connecting you to the body, but see your spirit lifting up and watching that resistance melt into your body and not coming into your spirit. So your spirit raises above that. And meld and connect with this highest self that you can. Feel this peace envelop you. Feel a knowingness envelop you. Knowing that you can have whatever information you need to live this purpose in your life, what you came here for. So look down at your body now, knowing you're safe and that whatever this awareness is that you're going to have about this resistance, you're okay. You're disconnected from it. But look down at the feelings that this body of yours is having. Be aware of them, but feel a bit detached. When you think of finding your why and what it is, how does your body feel? Does it feel heavy or painful? Do you have anxiety or anger or frustration? choose one feeling that you have about finding your why. If you choose anger, feel it getting bigger and enveloping that body until you get to the point where it can't get any bigger. And then watch it just sort of pop and wink out and disappear. And see your body relaxing as it does that, so that your body kind of relaxes with relief each time you release another feeling. Look again at your body. Is there a pain or a heaviness anywhere in your body? Is your stomach feeling tense? Whatever that is, when you look down, feeling still disconnected from your body, pull out that feeling, that heaviness, or that pain or that anxiety. And again, allow it to get bigger. Allow it to increase, feeling safe, until it gets to the largest area that it can, the biggest feeling of tension or worry or fear or pain. And then decide you don't need it anymore. Just to let it pop or wink out and just totally disappear, with every bit of it disappearing. And again, see your body relaxing, almost with relief, as you release this feeling. Now be aware of this body of yours. Check in and see how it feels now. Does it feel more relaxed, safer, or more connected? And at this point, ask your highest self that you are totally merged with why you're here on this planet and what you think you've decided that you want to accomplish here. Ask for an absolutely clear message. What is my why? And now, start seeing letters floating towards your body. M, Y, W, H, Y. See those letters, warm and vibrant and filled with love, coming towards your body and starting to enter your body. My why. The letters may change into other words. Realize that they're coming in, they're feeling, and they're understanding, even if you don't get what it is right now. You don't need to be aware of what your why is. Just feel the peace and the knowingness that you know what it is, if not now, in the near future. Know that you are connected to your highest self, to your knowingness center, feeling peaceful. And now, as you start to lower back into your body, know that you still have this connection to your highest self, that you will know your why. If you didn't have a specific aha, you will. And as you connect more and more into your body and feel how it feels now, know that you will continue to have this connection even as you rest and get more relaxed into your body. And as you're now there in your body, know that your why will be clear to you. You'll feel it. You'll know it. You just need to listen to those around you, to your own ideas, because these will start to make it more and more obvious what your why is, as this resistance has lightened and moved away from you. As you're totally now into your body, feeling awake, feeling relaxed and safe, and knowing that you already know what your purpose is now. You just need to be aware and listen. Wide awake now, refreshed, alert, feeling relaxed, and knowing that you have this connection to your highest self anytime you want it and at all times. And that why of what it is in your DNA. It will come to you now, whether you know it or whether someone else says something that sparks it, you will know. And you'll be able to pay attention to what this is. I want you to know that I do work with my clients all the time on this. So if you end up getting really frustrated and this does not work you all the way through it and you feel bogged down or confused, frustrated, and you feel like you want to give up, or if you just really feel like you want to find your why, please don't struggle on your own. I know what that's like. Ask for help with whoever feels like the best fit for you. I only want to work with people who have a really good fit with me, who love my energy, and who we can really move together. So know that this is something you can do. If you feel like this is a calling to you that you want to work with me, you can email me or go through my website and get on my schedule for a free 30-minute call. There's no obligation because I want to make sure that you feel like it's right and I feel like it's right. And I want to have you ask yourself right now, how are you feeling now? I want you to really think about that. Think about it and then feel through it. How do you feel? And how are you thinking now? Are you thinking, now I can find it? Or did you have an aha moment? I hope you wrote down whatever it was that came to you that felt really good. I don't want you to forget something really important. Finding your why can be life-changing. And it's really simple sometimes. It can take a lot of effort, like I said before, because we put so much effort into it. But really, it's something very simple. It's something you probably are already doing, but not on a grand scale that maybe you want to be. Or maybe you just want it to show up in your life and actually have it be your career or be the thing you volunteer for. But most people kind of like the fact that they get paid for what they love to do. And that's in the next show. We'll be talking about how to make your purpose a reality for you. How to actually, what's the best way to make it go, or one way that really works for you. But remember that when you fight knowing it, because maybe you don't want to change your life, it just won't work. So ask for clarity. So once you know what your why is, then you can decide from there, do I want to live it? And how do I want to live it? Because you can go back, if you don't want to live it, and you go, no, it's too much work. You can put your head, like an ostrich back in the sand. It's okay. It's your choice. It's your life. You don't need to feel guilty. You can just do whatever you feel you want to do. But when you do find your purpose, things are going to start falling into place. Your life is going to start making so much more sense to you. What's my why? Is a question I've heard now for a while. Once somebody started using it, it kind of caught on. But I do ask you, please don't despair. Don't worry about it. Don't think you'll never find it. As I said before, you might need to work with someone to find your why, to find your purpose. Whoever it is that you decide to go with, make sure you feel really good with them. And when you're looking for your why, always go deeper. And those 3 things that I gave you, go back over them. We didn't go into them in any depth. But when you're looking at what you love to do, what gives you fulfillment right now, there's going to be a hint underneath it about what your purpose is. Because what your purpose is going to impact how you feel and why you love to do something or why you love to be in a certain situation. Other people don't necessarily, but you may. You may love to be around children and babies, but why do you? Why do you love to do what you do or be who you are? Why do you love to be around certain people? What is it about them? Why? And then remember the second part is, what don't you like about your life? What's not working for you? I know some people who like to complain all the time. I don't even know if they knew they were doing it. Those are the people that if you're a more optimistic person, you kind of try not to stay around too often. But the way they or you, if you're that way, find the why is by looking at the negative. You say, what don't I like? Because it's true. Sometimes what you don't like sticks out farther than what you do. It's more obvious if you love most of your life and you go, wait, why don't I like that? Why is this not working for me? And again, look at your relationships and your business life, whatever the career may be. Maybe you volunteer for something and there's a way a person acts or something that happens. Whatever it is that you don't like, keep looking for the reason why. Why do you love it? Why does it impact you? Why don't you like it? And the third thing is looking for what's missing in your life. What piece of the puzzle is missing? And why is that so important to you? What is it about that piece of the puzzle that you don't have in your life, or maybe numerous pieces of the puzzle, that would make a bigger impact to you, that matters? Maybe you don't have someone to share your life with and you're going, that's what's missing. You're going, okay, why is it missing? Is it missing because you don't love yourself enough and you need someone to fill the gap? Is it missing because you just want to share your life with someone and you're saying, so why do I feel this way? There's something deeper that is there. Why? Keep looking for that aha moment, because The whys, when you look down, if you write them on a piece of paper, may all be the same. They may all look totally different. If they look totally different, you haven't gone deep enough. You may need someone to ask you questions, which is why I mentioned going to a life coach especially. Because when you are not looking at it from a perspective far enough out, you need that third party to say, well, wait, I see these. Let them ask you a question or look at things from a slightly different perspective. And then you'll get the, oh my God moment. And probably, I'll almost bet you that you already know what your purpose is. Even if you go, Carol, I do not. I have tried this for years. I still don't know it. And I'm going to say, I hear you. Because I heard Heal and Inspire when I was young. And then I still thought I didn't know my purpose because I didn't do well in science. I didn't want to be around, blood that much. I didn't mind it, but I wasn't going to put my hands in somebody's body and trying to heal them. Oh my God. That's how I thought of healing. So I ignored it. I figured I didn't know my purpose and that was some kind of random idea. So don't be surprised if that random idea becomes something you go, geez, it was that all along. And I just had to, when you realize that, yes, indeed, this is my purpose, I know what it is now, you're going to start having a lot of fun figuring out how to make it work, how to make it materialize on this planet in this lifetime. It's going to be so much fun. And that's next week. So I'm going to talk about that in just a few moments. But I want you to realize that no matter where you are in this process, it's good. It's great. It means you've made this decision. You've decided it's done. I'm time. This is ridiculous. I need to find this purpose. I need to have more joy in my life. And I think my purpose would bring me more joy. And if you think that way, you're right. Because it'll bring you more peace, more joy, more knowing that you're on a path you want to be on. And so many times, we're off at some, God knows where, and you get distracted. You're starting to look for your purpose, and life comes up, right? Other priorities show up, and you push it aside because has to be done right this minute. I got to make dinner. I have to take my kids somewhere. I have to go to work. I have to, whatever it is, it takes priority. Find time for this to be a priority for you. Because if you can find your why, everything will fall into place. Everything and everyone around you will be impacted by how much more you love who you are and what you're doing. And that will impact everyone else. It'll raise your vibration up, as I always love to say. When you raise your vibration above where you are now, you'll have less fear, less anger, less all those things that are heavier, less depression, less pain, less whatever it is, and more of that joy that you may want in your life. And remember, if you have a 2 or 3-pronged purpose like I do, that you don't need to do it all at the same time. You can do it in volunteering. You can, when you're activating how you do it, or you can do it all together. Different times in your life, different years of your life. Do what makes you feel good for you. I see it's time to wrap up the show. I hope you'll join me next week because we're going to definitely be talking, as I've mentioned here and there, about taking your why now. What do you do next? Okay, I know what it is. What do I do now? How do I make it happen? One of my specialties is helping people take their purpose and make it into a paying gig, to make you an entrepreneur or figure out exactly what you want to do so that you can find that joy in your life.
Thank you for listening to Connect to Joy. If you love the show, make sure you rate, review, and share this podcast, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Contact the host, Carol DeChaine, with questions and comments, ideas for future episodes, or if you would like to become a guest. And remember, transformation is a journey and not an end destination. So be kind to yourself, because you are already enough to have the joyful, limitless life that you desire.